Our next guest disclosed that he is an illegal immigrant 1 year ago today in the New York Times. Joining us now is Jose Antonio Vargas, Define America co-founder, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, and featured this month. Let me see this.
Yes.
We've got props here. The cover of Time magazine, the piece entitled "We Are Americans, Just Not Legally."
Yes.
Good to have you here.
Very, very nice.
You just heard a president say that, I mean, he sounded like the Cape Crusader there. He didn't do anything on illegal immigration for 2 years when he had the House, the Senate. He doesn't do anything on the DREAM Act, period. Then he does something that can't be implemented for probably 3 years by making a public announcement last Friday. You've got to be sorely disappointed in this guy.
Actually, I'm not.
Well,
I am. Well, I mean, because at the end of the day,
you're still illegal.
I'm still undocumented. Yes, I am. But at the end of the day, the president last Friday. By the way, that is the most dramatic improvement in immigrant rights since 1986, when Ronald Reagan signed the immigration.
What about 1996?
1986.
Yeah, but
not 96.
96 was pretty good.
That was pretty good. But in terms of the fact that
affected a lot more people than what he did Friday.
But now, to me, I mean, I have traveled around. I mean, thank you for plugging this. But I've traveled around the country for the past year, meeting countless number of undocumented Americans
who have
college degrees.
We're going to have to share stories, pardon.
Yeah. No.
But we don't have time for it right now.
Yeah.
Let's get to the issue of changing this immigration system that you said is broken.
Is broken. Yeah.
We just put up on the chalkboard what this nation does.
Yeah.
Why? I'm just curious. Why isn't somebody knocking on the door in Germany or the European Union? Knock on the door of Mexico, which, by the way, its president thanked, as Mr. Obama bowed to Felipe Calderon, thanked him for doing what he did Friday so that he could have more of his people exit Mexico. Isn't that sad and strange to you?
Well, I mean, by the way, back to what you were talking about, you're absolutely right that America has had a tremendous history of being welcoming to immigrants. Of being
hell we have a history.
Yes,
we are.
It
is now, it has been, and I think it'll always be.
But right now, we have 12 million, you know, the directive on Friday, by the way, doesn't impact me because I'm over the age of 30. I turned 31 in February. So we have, in this country, about 12 million undocumented people who want to be able to come forward.
I think that's great. Then come forward, because we got 13 guest worker programs by which you can enter. We have how many federal programs that you've applied to for citizenship?
Well, actually, I haven't applied for.
You haven't applied because that's sort of an oversight on your part.
No, actually, sir, it is not.
Why?
Last year, in the essay in the New York Times, I admitted to everything I had to do to live in this country.
Give you great credit for
but because of that, I am disqualified, for example, from applying for like an EB-1 visa, for example, an extraordinary
ability visa. Well, you couldn't qualify for that unless you had $500,000 anyway.
And I don't, right?
So that's what takes you out.
But again, the fact that there isn't a system for somebody like me, and by the way, let me be very clear about this.
Sure.
I believe in smart enforcement. I believe that, yes, this country needs to protect its borders. But at the same time, I believe that for somebody like me to come forward and say, tell me where to wait. Give me a process. If the process is in Times Square, I'll go there right now and wait.
You've been working. Your name is in every paper. We got illegal immigrants working on nearly every... I'm sorry?
Undocumented.
You want to challenge my language?
Oh, what I'm saying...
You use the language you wish, I will mine. Because you know what? The country you want to be a citizen of is a free country.
Yes, sir,
That gives me the right to express myself as I wish, and you, without interruption even. Okay, and it's my turn right now.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
This country has illegal immigrants working and seeking work on every corner where there is a hardware store. And I don't understand the problem here. You have an opportunity to become citizens. Do it.
Please give us a process. The Republicans in Congress who have been in some ways obstructionists in this issue.
Who?
Now remember, it was 36 Republican senators who voted against the DREAM Act in 2010.
A partisan illegal immigrant. This is wild. Keep going.
Oh, no, I'm not trying to be partisan. I'm just trying to remember my history. But by the way, Mr. Dobbs,
how about the Democratic president who hasn't delivered on his campaign?
Because the Congress wouldn't let him do it.
Excuse me? He had a Democratic Congress for 2 years.
The same Congress at the Senate, the 36 Republican senators in Congress voted against the DREAM Act.
Wait a minute, I'm confused.
Yeah.
Because I may not understand the math.
Yeah.
He had a majority
in the House. And the House passed.
Excuse me, forgive me. You really don't want to waste your time arguing reality. The fact is, yes,
he
had a majority in the Senate. a majority in the House and didn't do a damn thing. Why do you have, is there some partisan thing welling up in you that doesn't let you accept those facts?
This is beyond left and right. This is beyond left and right.
Well, not according to you.
Oh, no, that's not. I am simply stating that
you have just said the president didn't have control of the Senate and the House for 2 years.
The president, and he's been saying this, that for him to do what he has to do, he has to be able to work with a Congress.
I don't understand. Because it sounds like to me you're saying that you want to talk to somebody who will say, the hell with the law, who will...
no, sir,
you don't want consequences for your action?
Oh, what I want is for us to be able to come forward, tell the truth about where we are on this issue, and be able to come up with a solution. Republican and Democrats working together. That's what Marco Rubio was just saying. That we have to remember the human element.
Marco Rubio didn't even mention Governor Romney's name, and Governor Romney is the man who actually put forward the proposal to make legal and to give citizenship to every illegal immigrant in the United States military. Yeah. Without comment from Rubio? What is this? There's so much ego and nonsense and cross-purposed interest at work here. It's so hard to get to straightforward
that I understand.
answers.
And by the way, the one thing I want to make sure that I say this, because, you know, I've grown up watching you. I have. I just want you to think of all the kids sitting in classrooms across America. Every year, 65,000 undocumented people graduate from high school. I remember sitting in my classroom thinking, in Mountain View, where I grew up, whenever somebody referred to me as illegal.
Yeah. Were you?
I am a human being.
Yeah. Do you want to be called a human being?
Well, I want to be called a human being, and it's an undocumented immigrant, unauthorized. But, I mean, words matter in that regard, sir.
Words do matter.
Yes,
sir. And do you know what? If you can't accept the reality that you're illegal, and that
I'm here without authorization, yes.
Correct. If you can't accept that, there's no way to move forward.
Oh, no, I accept that.
But Charles...
I accept that.
Oh, then why are you arguing about whether you're undocumented, unauthorized?
All I'm saying
what is that nonsense? It's a waste of time.
It's not... All I'm saying is...
It's a game.
Oh, it's not a game.
Yes, it is.
It's not a game for me.
When you play with words like that, it's a game. Here's the reality. I have said as clear as anyone can. Yeah. I want to see a solution.
Yes, and I thank you for that. And I thank you for that.
I'm not doing it for you.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for the nation. In the national interest. I think it's in this nation's interest.
Yes, it is.
I'm not suggesting it in my interest.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting it because it's right for the country to come up with a rational, effective, humane solution.
Absolutely. I agree.
You know what's wrong?
What's wrong?
I spent a year trying to come up with a coalition and a consensus. And you know what?
What?
Open Borders advocates, and you can name them. They're LULAC, they're La Raza, go through the list. The left wing, represented by, amongst others, Senator Chuck Schumer, Luis Gutierrez.
Gutierrez, yes.
You know, who I like tremendously. You want a whole loaf, and you want to argue about what language is going to be spoken. Listen to me.
Oh, I'm listening.
And then I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to give you the last word. We can solve these things, but we got to stop with the nonsense. You want to have radical discussions about, Saul Alinsky tactics about controlling language. Accept the language, because it's going to be the language of this country, no matter what you think. English. It's going to be straightforward, plain spoken. Because when you become an American, and I think you will.
Well, thank you.
When you become an American, being plain spoken and straightforward and honest is going to be a big premium, and it'll help restore the nation to its reputation for having always been plain spoken. You get the last word.
The last word is, so there are 36 undocumented Americans on this cover from 15 different countries: Israel, Nigeria, Brazil, the Philippines, Korea. People like me have been paying taxes. We paid $11.2 billion in 2010.
Have you made any money?
What do you mean? Of course.
No, so you paid money. So you earn money, and so you pay taxes.
Of course, and
that's very nice of you.
To do that.
That's
no,
nice. That's so nice of you.
That's the right thing to do.
That is. So why do you brag about it?
I'm not bragging about it.
Then why did you bring it up?
Because all year I've been asked by people, "Do you pay taxes?"
You're not being asked by other people here. I'm the only one asking questions here tonight. Those are the answers we want.
And here's my statement to you, sir. I would love to figure out how you and I, in a conversation, right, and this is what we're doing at Define American, to have a conversation where we can find a solution, where we can meet halfway, where we find...
We're not going to meet halfway.
Yes, we will.
Let me explain something.
We will.
We're not going to meet halfway. That isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
This is not a negotiation. We are a nation of laws. We are a nation of sovereign borders. We are a compassionate and welcoming nation. And where we're going to meet will be at that frontier of American values that you want to embrace. You want to be an American, right?
I do embrace them.
So there's no compromise. Be an American. Embrace America and everything we stand for. And leave the bull wherever that shadow was that you were once in. You're going to enjoy it out in the bright light. It's a great country, don't you think?
It's a beautiful country.
Jose, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.